Right, our next speaker is Kirsty Smith. Her topic is You Are What You Eat. Let me give a brief introduction to her. She graduated with a Bachelor of Science Honours in Nutrition and Health from Roehampton University in London and with a Diploma in Sports Nutrition through the International Olympic Committee. She is an accredited nutritionist with the Singapore Nutrition and Dietetics Association, a member of the SNDA Sports Interest Group, and a member of Professionals in Nutrition for Exercise and Sports. She has also studied food security through Ryerson University in Toronto and recently qualified as a Nordic walking instructor. She is a runner herself, and she uses this way as a way of exploring new environments and keeping fit at the same time. Now, towards the end of this seminar, you will probably be given this book, this magazine called Prime Magazine, and on page 33, she has written an article called "Eat Your Stress Away." I shall not spoil the surprise, so it's nice to read this article on page 33 when you get it. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. The human body is an amazing system, a highly complex and integrated system of cells that work together in various ways to promote life. You are a comprehensive unit of tissue structures and chemicals built to withstand various environments from hot to cold, wet to dry, food scarcity and abundance. The human body can reproduce, it can repair, and it can replace itself, all to attain life and to attain homeostasis, which is a balance in your body. Therefore, the cells in your body must function properly for optimum health. Nutrition is a key part of cellular function, and nutrient deficiencies as well as excesses can disrupt this delicate balance, causing decrease in both health and performance. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. For example, feel the muscle in your arm or your leg. Did you know that this muscle will be completely new in about 2 months? It's actually a miracle that we're walking around today, because in 2 months we're essentially new people. Your body is constantly breaking down muscle tissue and reproducing it. About 1 to 2% of your muscles are replaced with new material every day. So after about 2 months, you're an entirely new person. At night, when you go to sleep, another part of your body goes to work, working to clean and repair itself and get you ready for the next day. During the night, the flow of cerebrospinal fluid in your brain increases dramatically, and it acts to wash away all the toxins that are built up in your brain cells between your brain cells during the day. So it's basically like a dishwasher. So these are just two examples of how. These are just two examples of how your body is working continuously every day, every minute, every second. As much as your body tries to keep in perfect balance, if we put too much pressure on it, or if we disrupt this balance, things can start to go wrong, and we get sick, physically, mentally, or both. And this can be seen from the staggering rates of obesity, heart disease, and diabetes, etc., that we're seeing today. So, for instance, if you eat a lot of salt, your body wants to stay in balance, so what does it do? You get thirsty and you drink fluids. If you carry on having a high salt diet, you're taking in more salt and you're taking in more fluid. And this increases the amount of blood volume. When you have too much blood volume, it puts pressure on your cardiovascular system, and this creates high blood pressure. So what does the body need to function optimally? To have a healthy functioning body and mind, our body needs energy and nutrients from the food we eat. Foods that we eat can be broken down into macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are your proteins, your fats, and your carbohydrates, and these you need in bigger amounts. Your micronutrients, these are your vitamins and minerals, etc., and these you need in smaller amounts. So carbohydrates. Carbohydrates have got a bad reputation in the media. We're told that they're bad and they're fattening and we shouldn't eat them. However, carbohydrates are a very important part of a healthy diet. They're the main source of fuel the preferred source of fuel for your brain and your muscles, and are very important in immune function and for other things. However, it's important to differentiate between the carbohydrates that you eat. You cannot put brown rice in the same camp as a big piece of cake. Even for athletes, we're now advising them to periodize their carbohydrates according to their training and their energy needs. So if they have a big training day or competition, then they need more carbohydrates. If they have a lower training day or a rest day, then they need less carbohydrates. And this can apply to the general population as well. If you lead a sedentary lifestyle, you don't need as many carbohydrates. And these should come predominantly from fruits and vegetables and whole grains. There is therefore no need to avoid all carbohydrates, but to be rather to be choosy about the carbohydrates that you eat. Choose whole foods, unrefined foods such as fruit, vegetables, whole grains. These contain lots of vitamins and minerals and phytochemicals and fiber. Fiber has many benefits, including maintenance of bowel health, lowering cholesterol levels, and controlling the amount of sugar levels. It also helps you to feel full and this is good for weight control. So avoid limiting refined carbohydrates such as white pastas or white rices, baked goods, sugary drinks and sweets. Fat is another macronutrient that's receiving a lot of attention lately. Fat is an essential part of your diet and forms every single cell in your body. It provides energy. It helps us to absorb certain vitamins, A, D, E, and K, and minerals. It provides insulation and protection for internal organs. It's also used to build new cells and is critical for normal brain development and nerve function and to produce hormones in your body. Here again, it's the choices that you make. The fats that should predominate in your diet should come from monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. And these come from your foods such as nuts and seeds and avocados. Omega-3 fatty acids, which are especially important in our diet and which we hear a lot about at the moment. So eating lots of fish as well. When you eat these whole foods, you ensure that you get a lot of beneficial fats in your diet. Avoiding processed foods that are also high in sugar will help to limit the amount of bad fats. For example, trans fats. There's really no place for these in our diet. They do no good, only harm. Of course, we also have to consider the intake because fats are higher in calories. Proteins. When we think about proteins, we tend to think about muscle growth and repair. However, protein is a part of every single cell in your body, and it has a multitude of functions. It's needed to maintain muscle, bone, skin, and every other organ and tissue in your body. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. When you eat protein, it's broken down into amino acids, and these are used to produce other proteins in your body. For example, immunoproteins, your antibodies for fighting infection. Some of these amino acids can be made by your body, and some of them can't. These are your essential amino acids, and they must come from the food that we eat. And these can be found in animal as well as plant sources. And good sources of protein include poultry, fish, eggs, dairy products, tofu. Tempeh is an excellent source of protein, as well as soy, nuts, seeds, beans, legumes. Micronutrients. These are the little guys, the vitamins and minerals that make everything work together. As the name implies, micronutrients are only needed in small amounts, but they have very specific roles and are the foundation of many metabolic processes. When one or more of them is in limited supply, we can get sick. And we should get most of our micronutrients from whole food and not from dietary supplements, because whole foods have a synergistic effect. They have lots of nutrients, and they have fiber, and they have so many things involved in them that your body needs to help you absorb those micronutrients. For example, vitamin C. Vitamin C is needed for collagen, which is essential for your skin, your blood vessels, your bones, and your cartilage. However, it can't be made from the body, and you need to get this from food. Fruits and vegetables, such as broccoli, kiwi fruit, oranges, these are very good sources of vitamin C. Vitamin C deficiency can result in decreased wound healing, and severe vitamin C deficiency can result in scurvy. And unfortunately, we're starting now to see a rise in scurvy, which is unfortunate. So everything that you do, from getting up in the morning to brushing your teeth to having a conversation to writing that report or going for a walk or a swim, these all need energy and nutrients. So having a balanced diet with a variety of foods, including mostly whole foods, this will ensure that you have all the needs that your body needs. However, a growing problem today is overweight and obesity. Our body was not designed to be overweight and obese, and the cost to ourselves and the health system are staggering. Although it's a complex issue, the majority of these are caused by environmental and lifestyle factors. Energy balance is a relationship between energy in, so that's the food that you eat, and energy out, and that's for all your bodily functions as well as your physical activity. And although this is a simple explanation, it basically means that if you eat too much, you're going to put on weight, and if you eat too little, you're going to lose weight. There are, of course, many other factors involved. Unfortunately, this is easier said than done, as we now live an obesogenic diet that encourages unhealthy eating and doing less exercise. Streets and public places are littered with shops that sell cheap fast foods, fried foods, processed foods, and these are all low in nutrients and high in calories. They're also not satiating, so they don't fill us up, and we're quick to eat again. Because they're low in nutrients, they sap our energy, and this creates an unhealthy way of eating. On top of that, we're also doing less exercise. We use buses, trains, other forms of transport to get around. And we also use elevators and escalators to go up 1 or 2 flights of stairs. And the stairs, or 2 levels, but the stairs are often nowhere to be found. They're around the corner, behind some door, and we only look for them when the lift is broken. As we age, many people assume that weight gain is just a natural part of aging, but it's not. And although there are extra considerations to take into account, when we act positively to make good lifestyle choices, then we can help to maintain a healthy weight or lose weight. So what happens as we get older? As we get older, not only does our body change, but also our lifestyle habits change. We're more sedentary, we don't need as many calories, and we also start to lose muscle. We lose muscle as part of a natural aging process. This is called sarcopenia, and it's a major global concern as it reduces mobility and it increases the risks of falls, fractures, and metabolic disease. It literally reduces the quality of life in older people. The process of breaking down and building up muscles continues throughout your life, but as you get older, the building process starts to decrease. The process starts to happen around the age of 30, depending on the individual, and is pronounced changes occurring after the age of 50. The rate at which we lose muscle includes factors such as physical activity and the foods that we eat. Regular resistance exercise, as well as good nutrition, especially protein and energy intake, can help us to limit and treat age-related declines in muscle mass, strength, and functional abilities. Muscle is also metabolically active, so when we lose muscle, we don't burn as many calories. Plus, it also leads us to reduce our activity levels, and this we lose more muscle as well. So eating more protein and doing exercise, strength exercise, will help us to maintain our muscle mass. Another problem commonly found in the aging population, and what you've been hearing about from the other speakers and what this conference is about, is incontinence. Obesity has been shown to be a strong risk factor for incontinence, with prevalence increasing with increased BMI. This appears to be due to the pressure exerted on the abdomen, bladder from the increased weight on the abdominal wall. One clinical trial called Program to Reduce Incontinence by Diet and Exercise, called PRIDE, showed that overweight and obese women with urinary incontinence who participated in lifestyle interventions had greater improvements in urinary incontinence than women who didn't, especially stress incontinence. Therefore, maintaining a good body weight or losing excess body weight is important for incontinence. So what are some of the unhealthy eating habits that can lead to weight gain? Mindless eating happens when we don't pay attention to the food that we're eating. We eat on autopilot and we don't think about the quality or the quantity or the variety, where it comes from and how it affects our body and our mind. In today's busy world, multitasking is the new way that we live our lives. We wolf down our food in front of our work computers or in front of our TVs. We grab food on the run. We eat in our cars. We don't even notice that extra piece of chocolate that we've taken from the fridge, or the chocolate or the crisps or the high energy foods that we're eating in that afternoon energy slump. This can lead us to overeat and to eat the wrong foods, which are lower in nutrients and higher in calories. Portion size at restaurants are often larger than we need, and this may skew our sense of what a normal portion size is. So we often eat more than we need. These foods are often higher in salt, sugar, and fat than home-cooked meals, and they offer less vegetable options. And then we wonder why we feel lethargic and we can't shake those extra kilos that have been accumulating. During stressful periods, this mindless eating becomes accentuated. If the stressful periods continue and these bad eating habits continue, it can affect our health as well as our waistlines. Fad diets that offer miracle weight loss in days or weeks often tend to concentrate on certain food groups or omit others. Unfortunately, after losing that initial weight, people tend to put the weight on again, and sometimes even put on more. This is because these fad diets are unsustainable and often dangerous. We all have different lifestyles and likes, and we come from different cultural backgrounds, and this very much affects the way that we eat. So if you are thinking of embarking on a weight loss diet, then you need to fit this into your lifestyle and your likes and your cultural values. And when you fit it into your environment, when you make healthy choices within this environment, then it's much easier to stick to. So what can we do to live more mindfully, or eat more mindfully? Mindful eating is part of a broader approach to living called mindfulness. It is not about restricting, but about being present and aware of what is happening within and around you at that moment. It's about being conscious of the food that you eat, the smells, the colors, the flavors, etc. And it's been shown to help control food intake, which means calories too, and promotes health as well as the enjoyment of food. So what are some of the ways that we can practice mindful eating? Be mindful of your eating environment. Eating in a calm environment allows you to concentrate on your food and enjoy your meal. Try not to get distracted by iPhones and TV and iPads. Taking the time to slow down and eat your food slowly. Chew your food properly before you swallow it, and savor the taste and the flavors and the textures. Think about where it came from. Being fully present to enjoy your meal and the moment. Be aware of any unhealthy eating patterns. Keeping a diary can sometimes allow you to see these trigger moments. For instance, that afternoon energy slump when you reach for the chocolate. Once you've identified these trigger moments, then you can act to change them. You can pre-plan some healthy meals like some nuts and fruit or a yogurt, or you can go out for a walk. Eating more home-cooked meals. Home-cooked meals are generally always healthier. They're lower in sugar and salt and fat, and you can decide what ingredients you want to include or exclude. You can also decide how much food you want to put on your plate. Michael Pollan, a food and environmental guru, suggests 3 rules for eating. Eat food, not too much, mostly plants. Eating food that is real and fresh, not food from a packet, but food that is unprocessed and in its whole form, such as whole fruits or vegetables, nuts, seeds, chicken, fish. Foods that are closest to their natural form. Not too much food. We are biochemically primed to eat and enjoy our foods, but we should learn to be conscious of when we've had enough. The Japanese phrase, harahachibu, which means to eat until you are 80% full, is a way of eating that is adhered to by the Okinawa people of Japan, who are known for their longevity. Confucius believed that longevity was increased when you didn't eat to the state of bloatedness. He advised eating until you were 7/10 full. He also advised to eat slowly, without talking, so that you can concentrate on your food and increase digestion of nutrients. It takes about 20 minutes for your stomach stretch receptors to communicate to the brain that you are full. If you're wolfing down your food, your stomach doesn't have time to tell your brain that you are full, and before you know it, you've overeaten. If we do this on a regular basis, we can add unwanted calories. Try stopping halfway through your meal and checking in with yourself. Have I eaten enough? Do I need to carry on eating that full plate? Switching most of your grains to whole grains and adding protein will help you to feel full, and also you won't feel deprived. Listen to your body's hunger signals and try to establish whether you're eating out of hunger or for any other reasons like stress or boredom or sadness or loneliness. And then you can make amends to those. Plant foods. Plant foods are the richest and most plentiful source of vitamin and minerals as well as fiber. They contain millions of phytochemicals that help to keep your body functioning optimally as well as fighting disease. Adding more plants to your plate, for example, adding some fruit in with your breakfast or adding vegetables and salads to your lunch and your dinner can really benefit and improve your intake of vegetables and fruits. The Singapore Health Promotion Board's My Healthy Plate provides a very nice diagram to show you what your plate can look like. It's a very good visual clue because you can start when you look at your plate, when you're eating your meal, you can see what you're missing or what you are having too much of or too little of. And this diagram can just stick in your head so that you always know what to have on your plate. It also gives lots of useful tips on nutrition and on exercise. So I also wanted to mention some additional factors that can have an influence on what and how we eat. These are hydration and sleep. The body is composed of about 60% water. The functions of these bodily fluids include digestion, absorption, circulation, creation of saliva, transportation of nutrients, and maintenance of body temperature. When you're low on fluids, the brain triggers the body's thirst mechanism. However, as we age, this thirst mechanism may not work as well. Hydration can affect body weight as well, and it's been shown that being hydrated can help with weight loss. One study showed that a group of people who drank 500 ml of water before their meal ate less than those who didn't. So this helps with calorie control. Drinking fluid also increases your metabolism, which can lead to the breakdown of fat, therefore also helping with weight control. Singapore is a very hot and humid climate, and we lose a lot of fluid from our bodies through sweat. So it's vital that you're diligent about the amount of fluid that you're drinking throughout the day. Keeping a bottle of water on your desk or in your bag, these act as good visual clues and remind us to drink all the time. Sleep. Although we may not think about it, sleep can also have a great impact on the foods that we eat. And there is currently a lot of interesting studies out there looking at how the lack of sleep affects us and affects our choices. As we discussed, obesity has become a global concern. Parallel to the increase in weight gain is also the reduction of sleep times. With the pressures of work and round-the-clock entertainment from internet and TVs, the time set aside for sleep has been reduced. In fact, in a report published by Jawbone, which looked at 43 different countries, Singapore is the third most sleep-deprived country. Tokyo came first, followed by Seoul. As part of the natural aging process, sleep patterns also change. As we age, we may find it more difficult to fall asleep, and we struggle to stay awake the whole night, but we still need the same amount of sleep. Hypothalamic pituitary function in the brain, including those that influence eating, energy balance, and metabolism, are strongly tied to the circadian rhythm. This is your internal clock that governs your body cycles, and are highly integrated with the regulation of sleep. Studies suggest that when our internal clock is disrupted, it throws off many of our bodily functions, including metabolism. And you'll be hearing more about the internal clock from one of your later speakers. Although the cause of sleep deprivation and weight gain are not fully understood yet, it may be due to a number of factors, including daytime fatigue and reduced activity, as well as alterations in your appetite-regulating hormones such as leptin, ghrelin, and cortisol. Your gut microbes appear to be affected by altered sleep patterns as well. And studies have shown that sleep influences how the body uses insulin and processes glucose. Sleep-deprived individuals showed that they had increased insulin resistance and decreased glucose tolerance at the end of a period of sleep deprivation. A study was conducted on a group of people who slept less than 5.5 hours per night for 2 weeks, and in a group who slept for more than 7 hours during the same period. The people that sleep-deprived people ate more, and they ate more carbohydrate-rich snacks, sodas, fewer vegetables, and fruits. When you're tired, you also don't have any motivation to exercise, so you don't burn those excess calories. These combined factors can result in weight gain. Being overweight in the first place can affect your sleep, because as you have put weight on your trunk or your neck, you upset your breathing, and this can lead to poorer qualities in sleep and poorer quality and quantity of sleep. So even losing weight can help with your sleep. So as you can see, there are many factors that affect the way we eat and our body weight. As we age, we therefore need to be more conscious of eating a healthy and varied diet that promotes health and weight control. To slow down the rate of muscle loss, we should include good quality protein at every meal and engage in exercise. You don't need to go to the gym. Carrying shopping bags, walking up that extra flight of stairs, doing some home exercises as we learned earlier. These are all simple ways that you can just add exercise into your daily life. Drinking more fluid so that you stay more hydrated, and getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep are additional ways in which we can stay healthy and manage our weight. Start by making small changes to your diet and your lifestyle, and these will lead to the bigger changes that your body will thank you for in the long run. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. Any questions?